Okay, good afternoon, everyone. It's 3:41 p.m. Eastern Time on July 3rd, 2024. We have Hurricane Beryl impacting Jamaica at this hour. It's like the core is just to the south of Kingston, and the most southern tip of the country is being impacted by the northern eye wall at this time. So here's a radar of Hurricane Beryl. And you notice the northern eye wall, those deep red bands of hurricane force winds are impacting that little peninsula that juts out. To the west of there, however, there's some decent population centers along the southern coast, so we'll monitor this. Winds are, the current advisory from the National Hurricane Center has the winds at 140 miles per hour. This is as of the 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Position from the National Hurricane Center, 17.3 north, 76.9 west, 45 miles south of Kingston, Jamaica. And the minimum central pressure is 959 millibars, 28.32 inches. This is courtesy of Bill. He's handling the camera shots today. Bill, if you want to say hello real quick.
Good afternoon, everyone. Different shots from around Jamaica, two or three different feeds. So I'll go back to Jim and let him continue with his opening. Good afternoon.
All right, so this is from the timestamp on that camera is 2:46. So they're an hour behind on. They don't go with the Eastern time zone down there. So that's the live cam shot right now from Jamaica, from different cam shots around there. Halfway Tree Live. I guess that's downtown Kingston. Looks like the eye's making a comeback here. It was closed up a little earlier. Now it's coming back.
And there was the westerly shear is starting to it's starting to find a little shear now. It's not in the pristine environment that it has been for the last several days.
This is the very southern tip of Jamaica, that little area that's being hammered right now, that little area that juts out to the south there. Here's what it looks like on Google Earth. And again, there's a big patch down here. It's just nothing but grasslands and hills. You get over here to Portland Cottage. There's a little bit of population center here. There's a few houses here. Here's a street, residential street coming in here. So that's at the very top of that little round area that's sticking out on that radar. Again, zoom in on that. That's where that red band is. It's just coming very close, right in here. And then as it moves a little further west, I guess the winds will come more like this. There we go. Yeah, that's not really well-built construction there. So they're going to be in trouble.
That's a little flim-flam.
Yeah. There's a lighthouse out here. It's a tourist attraction. Okay. That's the lighthouse that's right in the middle of that grass area. That's getting hammered right now. Guarantee it. That's another thing that concerns me. Look at this potential for storm surge coming in like this. That could be very bad as well, because that wind is definitely, coming across like this. So, and then a little further up, you have Lionel Town. There's a sugar factory here. There's a distillery, sugar processing. A lot of these homes are going to be de-roofed over here. Those areas are getting hammered pretty good right along in here. Rocky Point, Lionel Town, Water Lane, Racecourse.
All right, back to Hurricane Watch, and I'm going to see if I can find something else.
All right. Yeah, that's a current satellite image. Yeah, so I'm running the same problem. All right, so you guys, I wanted to show you something. This is pretty neat. This is the from NOAA, the NESDIS site, and they have the drop zone data on the hurricane. This is the latest that they have. From what I can gather on this, the you can see when you mouse over it, tells you the speed, wind speed in knots, and this is again the drop zone data and the SFMR data combined, I believe. And what they do is measure how far out the hurricane force wind field is. So you're figuring 64 knots, right about there, is 54 kilometers from the center of the storm. So you're talking roughly a little over 30 miles out. These hurricane force winds extend from the center. The same thing up in here. Let's see, you get 62 knots is right when you get near hurricane force. Again, 46 kilometers. So again, we're talking just under 30 miles north of the center is where those hurricane force winds expand out. Around Kingston, some of these camera shots. This is updated. This is 2 minutes old. Looks like flooding in Kingston. Look at the water in the street. There's things floating in the road. Looks like a little bit of roof damage there. The trees. You can look at the palm tree at the top of the screen. That's blowing pretty good. That's about where we're at right now. It's not quite that far west. It's a little bit east of this point, but that's donut, that red thick donut. That's the core winds. Those are the ones that the hurricane hunters, the National Hurricane Center has. It's still 140, right? Yeah, 140 mile per hour winds. Of course, it's a little bit behind the radar image. Of course, it's because it only updates about every 20, 30 minutes, I think. Yeah. And now here's the radar. I mean, you can see the radar's maybe a little out in front of it. It's like a half a mile of coastline that has no development on it. So these are all it's like mountainsides over here, a half a mile or greater until you get to the population zones. So you almost have to be a mile inland with some of those bands for these houses to get raked. Okay, so there's what the ocean looks like and we're aiming south now. And there's Hurricane Beryl out there somewhere. And that's that little arrow jutting out, that little mountain range back there. And I mean, there's a picture of the hotel. It looks like a pretty decent hotel. Looks like well-built homes. They all have their own little farmland attached to them. That's pretty neat. I guess they all do their own farming. It's like a farming community here. Yeah, they do a lot. That's another thing about Jamaica. They do a lot of sugarcane and stuff like that on that island. That yellow is on there, and those are probably 120, especially in that orange band that's coming on there right now. So that little hut we showed you a little while ago, that little single house by itself, that's beginning to feel this now. Another shot of what it looks like where the worst conditions are happening right now. Shot of waves smashing up again. Look how high that mountain, the coast is there. I mean, you're just not going to get storm surge in there. Again, this is just about our current position. That'll be our position at 6 p.m. from the National Hurricane Center 5 p.m. advisory, and that's about accurate because that's about where it's going to be in about 20 minutes or 30 minutes. There's that little point sticking out that I was telling you about. And again, when you look at the radar, that little point is now right there under that band. See it? Right at the edge of the yellow is right where that point is that I have up on the Google Earth right there. There it is. And there's where the last frame on the radar is right touching that right now. The winds, let me show you this again. The winds are coming across like this, and we're offshore. They're not piling up in here, so there's no surge event happening here for them.
Yeah, so it would be actually blowing the water out.
Yeah. Flagman, Southfield, Queensberry, Pedro Cross, Beacon, Little Park, Treasure Beach, all these areas are under the gun right now from that northern eye wall on that southwest tip of this area right here is getting absolutely annihilated right here. That's
pulsed up right at the wrong time. They're getting blasted.
Yeah. It's so close, I mean, to an eye making landfall that I don't know. We'll see what NEC says. That's not quite the center of the eye, though. It's so close. It's so close. Now it's all oranges and reds up in there.
Nasty.
Wow.
Nasty.
Yeah, they're getting raked. Treasure Beach, Southfield, Flagman, Queensberry. Pay attention to that in the news, ladies and gentlemen. Those Treasure Beach, Flagman, Southfield, Queensberry region. All these areas here are getting just devastated by
the brown spots you see in the radar. Remember, this beam's coming from Cuba, and those mountain ranges are tall, so the beam is getting blocked probably. I guarantee you that whole island is getting dumped on right now.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah, because you can see a break. Notice on the radar, the mountain range is stopping the beam, exactly like you said. See, there's no rain in the northern part of the country, which is ridiculous.
I wanted to make sure that was pointed out for archive purposes. That's because of the mountain range. There's rain all over that island, I promise.
A typical house, right on the coast there. Again, assuming that house is facing the ocean, right? So the stairs are leading out towards the beach area. So in this shot, the winds would be coming from behind like this. So I don't know what that is up there. It looks like a thatch roof of some sort. I mean, that's gone. Like, you can kiss that goodbye. Here's an area this is called the White House. And that looks like it's well built. That's some kind of a resort community that's getting hammered right now. Wow. Even the reds are even intensifying right on the coast there. Yeah, wow. I mean, they're just getting absolutely annihilated. This whole area, Treasure Beach, again, you know, the scene with the palm tree, Watchwell, Barbary Hall, Mountainside. This looks like a resort of some sort right along the beach.
Pretty. You don't always get a landfall every time. And that goes to show you can still get your ass kicked without a technical landfall. Remember, hurricanes are a lot bigger than a center point.
That's a little bit behind the radar, but you can see the eye is right near that coast.
Port Palisades Road, rather, we've heard that's blocked. We've heard the police saying the Goshen, the main road, is blocked. What are some of the major roads that you've also been getting reports of so far, Stephen Shaw?
Jimmy, got that?
Yeah.
Okay. We have had reports of roads along the coastline from Port Antonio into from Morant Bay leading to Harbour View. So the roads that would have been impacted would have been like Roselle out in St. Thomas. In Port Antonio, the stretch from Folly to Fair Prospect we have had a number of issues there to include fallen light poles, fallen trees. Importantly, though, we have not experienced any flooding in any of those spaces. The damage that we have seen, or the impact that we have seen to date, mostly is associated with fallen trees impacting roads. As I speak, actually sitting in our emergency operations center, where we are collating the information as it comes in, and we have some 49 reports as of this hour, and the calls are still coming in as it relates to issues. Most of these issues, Dion, are coming out of the parish of Portland, and Portland is where we would have seen not just trees, but storm surge, fallen light poles, landslides impacting roads.
Okay, nothing so far from South Coast, because we've been getting reports of what seems to be pretty serious damage in some sections of Clarendon, like Mitchell Town, for instance.